Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CypherX technical analysis video breakdown. In today's video, we're just going to do a straight to the point fundamental and technical analysis update on the digital asset XRP. In previous video breakdowns, we had accurately called out a drop in the price of XRP down to 57 cents. We mentioned in previous video breakdowns that if we broke 57 cents, that 52 cents would be our next target. And now we're going to pick up where we left off in that video breakdown because we are currently still hovering at those institutional delta zones. So if you all enjoy these video breakdowns, these fundamental analysis, these technical analysis, all logical, sound fundamentals and technicals, no bullish moonboy, hopium, magic, indicators, Fibonacci's, anything like that, just displaying real accuracy, then do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. So I'm going to share screen with you guys. Now, in previous video breakdowns, as I mentioned, we had been calling this information out to you guys. So we're going to just pick up where we left off. This was that video upload from roughly about 4 days ago. Make sure that you guys go back and check that out. Lots of logical and sound technical analysis in this video breakdown as well. You can see that we had mentioned the 52-cent key psychological level, and we are still currently hovering around that. So let's just give an update. Let's talk about risk on, risk off market sentiment and what to be paying attention to the remainder of this week. So over on the X space, I have been consistently updating you guys with private community updates that I type out handwritten each evening during the Asia session for the private community members. This is one of the most recent updates. So we're going to read through this and then we'll jump into the technical analysis. And I want to display something interesting in correlation with the fundamentals that are set to come out along with the XRP price charts. So currently, there are no significant new fundamentals to report as the week begins with a light data calendar. However, the US dollar still remains relatively strong, supported by the ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, hawkish Fed commentary, and reduced likelihood of aggressive rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. And obviously, of course, we had last week's upbeat labor market data. Now, our focus will shift towards the upcoming FOMC meeting in minutes tomorrow, which is obviously, of course, different from the FOMC meeting, where we will be closely analyzing the tone of the central bank speakers. For instance, yesterday, Fed's Kugler stated that she would support additional rate cuts if inflation progresses as expected. She also emphasized the Fed's data-driven approach, noting that if downside risks to employment escalate quicker, rate cuts may be necessary. If more central bankers echo her stance, attention will turn towards the upcoming unemployment claims and inflation data later this week on Thursday and Friday. As of time of recording this video, it is Tuesday. I will drop this tomorrow morning on Wednesday during the release of the day of the FOMC meeting in minutes. So hopefully you guys are watching this beforehand. All right. And so I just want to cover some of Fed Kugler's comments because these are going to play an important role where she said, I will support additional rate cuts if progress on inflation continues as expected. Our approach to any policy decisions will continue to be data dependent. And she said, if downside risks to employment escalate, cutting rates more quickly may be appropriate. Now, this is going to play a key role as we go through these scenarios, both risk on and risk off. But before we get into those two scenarios, let's talk about the current crypto space. So right now, signals remain mixed. While prices have bounced from last week's lows, broader investor sentiment remains cautious, with limited aggressive bullish bets. However, a few assets such as soy are performing well, which just recently hit new all-time highs. Now, in our private Discord to our community members, I personally reiterate and mention the dollar cost average positions that I'm looking to enter into the market at. And back on August 3rd, 2024, as you can see via this timestamp, it was a Saturday, I mentioned to the private community members that I was plugging in about $5,500 worth of capital into the market, and I mentioned buying soy anything below 65 cents, preferably below the 50-cent threshold. Well, if we go and we look at the digital asset soy and we take a look where it was back on August 3rd, you can see that we were operating below the 50-cent threshold, and soy has skyrocketed in price, hitting a brand new all-time high of roughly almost about $2.30. Now, we posted some insights from within inside our private community to show you guys that our private members are capitalizing on these dollar cost average levels within our private Discord. Lionel mentioned, thanks again for soy. You nailed it. We also see over here, Derek mentioned, let's do this. Soy only a couple grand in there, but thankful that he did. Kevin also same here. He said best grand that he ever spent. So just showing you guys yet again, we are delivering these dollar cost average levels to our private community members. And in some way, shape, or form, whether it's fundamentals, technical analysis, institutional delta zones, the educational PDFs, the Zoom calls that we provide. I mean, it's so much education and information jam-packed into the private CyberX community. You are missing out if you are not involved as a private member. So head over to cyberxtrading.com. We would love to have you on the team. So that was probably the highlight, honestly, of this year was our soy callouts. I mean, this was such an exponential call out, and I'm so happy that I was buying soy at 50 cents because now the train has left the station. Okay, so let's get into XRP because XRP is currently trading at around the levels that soy was trading at a couple months ago. So hopefully we see some type of exponential price action on the digital asset XRP. I'm still accumulating more, and I would like to entertain you guys on the levels in which I will be dollar cost averaging at further if we see a further drop in price. So let's go over these levels. Now, I did give you guys these levels publicly on the X Space. These are our institutional delta zones that are shared with inside the private CyberX community. You guys can head over to my profile on X. You can click this open. These are our most recent updates from October 3rd. Now, our community gets these updates every single day, but for you guys have updated levels from October 3rd, which are roughly only about 5 days old. So give or take, they're still relative for at least about another week. So what I would do is I would head over there, I would copy some of these institutional deltas, lay them on over your charts. However, after watching this video breakdown, you won't need them because I'm going to go over levels that I'm personally looking at. All right. So let's head back over here. Let's cover these scenarios. First, let's discuss risk on. This would obviously, of course, be the most optimistic perspective and would create a improved risk environment and create some price appreciation in digital assets across the board. And that would be if we see first, no further Middle East escalations and tensions, no new fear, uncertainty, and doubt on the geopolitical landscape. That's firsthand. Then, if unemployment claims came out downbeat, indicating a weakening labor market, and inflation data, CPI and PPI, shows a downward trend. This could renew hopes for Fed rate cuts. Such data would likely cap the dollar's gains and boost risk appetite as investors would start pricing in a more dovish Fed expectation, i.e., more Federal Reserve rate cuts. Heading back to what one of the Fed market participants just said, that they will support additional rate cuts if progress in inflation continues or if any downside risks to employment escalates. All right. So, in order for us to see further or future rate cuts from the Fed, which tend to support riskier assets, we need to see downbeat unemployment claims and lower inflationary figures. Now, something I want you guys to pay attention to is where the price of XRP is at compared to where the last CPI and PPI report came out. So, if we click here on forexfactory.com, what you'll notice if we click open these folder reports is that the last CPI report came out on September 11th and the last PPI report came out on September 12th. Now, if we head over to the XRP price charts, this blue circle is where September 11th and 12th took place at, where i.e. the last CPI and PPI report came out. Interestingly enough, that is exactly where price action is currently hovering at on the digital asset XRP right now, what just so happens to be slightly above our institutional delta levels at around 52 cents. So if tomorrow through Friday continues risk on. That means we see no further geopolitical escalations and tensions in the Middle East. We see downbeat unemployment claims, further supporting rate cut bets from the Fed, coupled with lower inflation in both CPI and PPI month over month and year over year, showing continued signs of disinflation. That would obviously, of course, support a rate cut narrative from the Fed further. It is my firm belief that we are going to hold above this 52-cent psychological level to some degree, whether that means we see a slight drop below to grab liquidity, break back above, retest, and start to make our way back up towards 57 cents, or we continue higher from where we're currently trading at now. So, in a risk on market environment, the remainder of this week, if risk sentiment continues to improve and we see a turnaround in digital assets, the first bullish targets that I will be looking for intraday on XRP is that we can break above 57 cents. If we can overcome that threshold, then we can start to target the highs where we were trading at back at the end of September at around 62 cents. Now, this is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be any type of price action that takes place in the blink of an eye. We would need to see some type of sentiment turnaround in order for the price of the digital asset XRP to see any increased bullish bets. But as of right now, with an increased risk appetite and scenario number one that I just mentioned to you guys playing out, this is what I am expecting. Now, I did dollar cost average, as I mentioned in previous video breakdowns, if we were going to come into that 52-cent threshold. So I won't be buying any more XRP at 52 cents. So where will I be buying more XRP? That is if scenario number two plays out. And that's if we see a risk off market sentiment due to a couple of different factors. So pay attention, because this would be a catalyst that could prompt XRP, the digital asset, to decrease further, where I will be looking for further dollar cost average opportunities. Risk off. Any, obviously, of course, escalations and geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, sparking fear, uncertainty, and doubt on a global scale, where investors seek refuge in safe haven like the dollar or gold. Or if tomorrow's FOMC meeting in minutes reflects a more hawkish tone, unemployment claims comes out lower, signaling labor market resilience and strength, or if the CPI and PPI readings point to persistent, sticky, and troublesome inflation, the market would most likely expect a higher for longer interest rate environment, and this would likely weigh on risk assets across the board. Now, to what degree this might weigh on risk assets, I'm not here with the crystal ball to debate that, but it is a scenario that would most likely create further sell pressure on the digital asset ecosystem. With that being said, just like in the previous video breakdown, I still have my eyes set on 48 and 44 cents. So if we do break below 52 cents and a bearish retest comes into fruition with a risk off market sentiment, i.e., we see scenario number two play out, what I just mentioned to you guys, I'm looking for dollar cost average levels at anywhere between 48 to 44 cents on XRP. If 48 cents holds, we will reevaluate our sentiment and our analysis at that moment in time. But if 48 cents breaks, our next area of interest is 44 cents. So give or take 48 to 44 cents are our next DCA levels on XRP. We will not be facilitating any more capital in the XRP, give or take the fact that we just deployed some capital at 52 cents, given this significant market decrease that we've seen since the beginning of October, which has been phenomenal for opportunities for discounted levels on multiple digital assets across the board. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed that quick update, straightforward to the point, no outrageous bullish boy hopium targets, just accuracy. Again, you guys have access to these accurate institutional deltas, the ones that I just posted on my X profile. And if you guys want access to a large list of institutional deltas on hundreds of different cryptocurrency pairs or any other trading pair in the market, whether it's futures, commodities, or Forex, you guys can head over to cyberxtrading.com and join our private Discord. We would love to have you on the team. With that being said, many blessings to you guys. Just because I am dollar cost averaging in at 48 to 44 cents, that is not financial advice. To each his own, assess your own personal risk appetite. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.